Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach, Malak Yahushai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Mashiach, Malak Yahushai. A hearty, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the households, reverencing their husbands, being submissive and diligent, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremother. Shalom, shalom. And Shabbat shalom to everybody tuning in live. Travis, Don Israel, Nigel Blends, Yvette McKellar, Qua Israel 23, Vernon Brody, T. Sellers, Renee A. Shalom Williams, Brother Azariah, Shalom King, Ancients Knew Why Don't We, HBK Ent, Antonio Brayboy, La Pius, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in on this beautiful Shabbat through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. 666, do you have the number of the beast? 666, do you have the number of the beast? So you have massive destruction happening on the earth or about to arise on the earth. You just had a recent bombing from Babylon, the great United States, on Iraq, on Syria, and Iranian-based militias in those different lands, which is more than likely going to lead to World War III. Whether it happens now or a month or two from now, or however long Yahweh Bashim Yahushua deems it fit, World War III is being pumped up and pumped up and pumped up until this thing actually kicks off. And those who are not under the seal and protection of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, they're going to be destroyed. Rather get drafted to somewhere in the Northern Army to fight against Gog and Magog and the kings of the East, or rather you die because of the famine, rather you die from the sword, or rather you die out of just violence. You understand, from these civilians out here. If you're not under the seal and protection of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, you're going to be caught out there, right? So the question is, are you sealed by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, or are you sealed up by the beast, right? And the number of the beast, we'll touch on it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, because the Most High, what he does is he has a remnant of those which will not bow the knee to the image of Baal. There's a remnant of men that are going to have integrity unto the day of their death. There's a remnant of men that are still going to keep the law, statutes, and the commandments and have the faith of the Most High. And then there's everybody else, right? There's everybody else. And everybody else, they're going to die and they're sealed up with the number of the beast. And we'll touch on that, right? This is Romans, Salakia chapter 11 and verse 2. It reads, I'll start at 1. I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people? God forbid, for I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So this is the Apostle Paul charging the Israelite foreigners in Rome that the Most High still has the chosen seed line that he's dealing with, right? He still has the Jews that he's dealing with, and he's also dealing with the Israelite foreigners. The Most High hath not cast away his people, which he foreknew. What yea, not what the scripture saith of Elias, how he maketh intercession to the Most High against Israel, saying, Lord, they have killed thy prophets and digged down thine altars, and I am left alone, and they seek my life. And this was during the time of major apostasy that Paul is referencing, that goes back to the time of 1 Kings and 2 Kings, with Jezebel, who sought to slay the prophets of the Most High, Ahab, and a weak, effeminate king who gave his strength over to a woman. And Elijah was essentially public enemy number one. And he felt as though in the midst of apostasy, which is falling away from the truth, evil, bloodshed, idolatry, that he was the only one left alone. That he was the only one seeking the Most High. And sometimes you may feel like that. In this world of evil, sin, sodomy, freakism, violence, murder, lies, deceit, corruption, you may feel like you are left alone, right? And your life is being sought after. You're persecuted by your family. You're persecuted at your job. You're persecuted by these demons. But what did the Most High say? Are we really alone? Right? Are you the only one in this truth? Are you the only one dealing with adversity? But what said the answer of the Most High to him? So what did the Most High answer Elijah when he said, I'm left alone? Right? Here's what the Lord said. I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Even so, at this present time, meaning right now, so-called 2024 AD, even so, then at this present time, also, there is a remnant according to the election of grace. So there's a remnant of men. And if we're part of the elect, we represent that 7,000 men. Now, we'll touch on what numbers mean. It doesn't mean actually 7,000. It doesn't mean, okay, the Most High has 6,999, and he found this guy in Jamaica. He sealed this guy. Now there's 7,000. And if you tried to get into this thing and you were the 7,001 person, then the Most High said, no, only got 7,000. No, because we know that there's 144,000, 12,000 of each tribe, which is a portion of the 1/3. So this 7,000 essentially is going into the 1/3. All right, so when you understand the Bible, you got to know what the numbers mean. You got to know how the Most High uses numbers as in code. Like we always say, Jake used code and numbers. I haven't seen you in a minute. Does that mean I literally haven't seen you in a minute? No, it means I haven't seen you in a long time. You don't literally count 60 seconds unless you're a creep or an Edomite. And we'll touch on this code as well. But the point is, there are 7,000 men, meaning a complete amount of men, which will not bow the knee to the image of Baal. Back then, it wasn't just Elijah. There were men with him. And even now, it's not just you. There are Israelites scattered throughout the earth that will not conform to the image of the beast, that will not bow down to the satanic system, that will not sell their soul, that will not sin against their maker, because they have been created of old. That's why it says, even so, then at this present time, meaning right now, and at that time that this epistle was being written, also there is a remnant according to what? To the election of grace. So the Most High elected certain souls and gave them grace and chose them before the foundation of the world. Right? Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9. So there's two types of people. Those, the 7,000, which will not bow their knee to the image of Baal. And then you have everybody else that's going to bow down to the image of the beast. Baal was an ancient god, right? That the nations worshipped and they served through the time of the Assyrians and the Babylonians. But now it just represents this modern day wicked system. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So there are actual angels putting a spiritual mark. It's not a literal mark. You're not going to wake up with a literal mark on your forehead, right? And so, well, you try to erase it, you can't get rid of it, so you got to put a hat on. No, what it's saying is that the Most High has certain men that are exempt from the destruction that he's going to bring on the earth. And everybody's being marked. Either you're being marked for destruction or you're being marked for salvation. Those who have the number of the beast, they are marked for destruction. Right? Those who have that 666 in the right hand and in the forehead, they are marked for destruction. Those who have the mark of the Most High, they are marked for salvation. All right? It's a spiritual mark. It reads, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So these are men that want to be liberated, men that are tired of oppression, men that are sick of working, bills, rent, hell, from your family, from your woman, infirmities. Your children may rise up against you. Your job may rise up against you. There's always your finances are always a damn spin. You never have enough, and nothing's ever enough to make you content, man. There's always war and conflict in this society. So if you sigh and cry and you hate it here, the Most High sees that, man. And to the others, he said in mine hearing. So if you're not the man that sealed or the woman, go ye after him through the city and smite, meaning kill. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary, then they began at the ancient men, which were before the house. See that? So the Most High said, everybody else that's not part of that 7,000, that remnant, everybody that's not marked, everybody that's not sealed, kill them, slay them, destroy them, right? Utterly destroy them. Now that word mark is let's see, thumb. It reads mark as a sign of exempt from judgment. So it's a spiritual mark. So when the angels come through to cause the destruction, they know who's going to make it and who's not going to make it. So you can't pay your way and bribe the angel and say, well, look, I was a good person. Here's a few dollars. No, they already know. They're going to look at that spiritual mark on you, and they're going to discern between who's the tares and who's the wheat, right? Let's get this in this Matthew chapter 13 and verse 41. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend and them which do iniquity. So the angels, they know. They're going to destroy everybody that offends. Offend what? Offend against the Most High. Offend the little ones. You offend against the scriptures. And them which do iniquity, meaning pork eaters, blasphemers, idolaters, adulterers, Sabbath breakers, sorcerers, blasphemers, and evil wicked men. These are all of the men that offended do iniquity that have the number of the beast. And we'll touch on it. But we're going to dive into it and where we're getting this from. You may say, well, what's this number of the beast? We've touched on it before, but I wanted to touch on it again because you have massive destruction coming on the earth. And those are the two types of individuals, those that are marked for salvation and those who have the number of the beast. All right, them that offend and do iniquity and them that are righteous and keep the commandments and the faith of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. All right, that's why the Lord said in Malachi, then ye shall be able to discern between him who serveth God and him who serveth him not, paraphrasing. Right, Malachi 3 and 18. Then shall ye return and discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth the Most High and him that serveth him not. Who is him that serveth the Most High? Those that are sealed for salvation, marked and exempt from judgment. And what's going to happen to the people that serve him not? These are the people that you'll find out that have the number of the beast. All right, we talk about the mark of the beast. We talk about the image of the beast, but I want to hone in on the number of the beast. All right, they all work hand in hand. Right. Nevertheless, there's you dive into them slightly different. Now, here's where this comes from, the number of the beast. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that understandeth count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Right? So this is really John given a riddle, a dark saying. He had to write this in code. Remember, John had motive to write this in a codified form because John was in prison. John was essentially a slave. Remember, John was exiled to the Isle of Patmos. When you look up these 7 churches, right? You had Laodicea, Ephesus, Smyrna, Philadelphia, Sardis, Thyatira, Pergamos. These are the 7 churches that John had to send his letter to. And John was in Patmos, which is an island right here by Kos, Samos, and Rhodes. So John was banished. Remember, he was in tribulation. He was banished to a salt mine. When you go through the history, it's like I typed in John, I meant Revelation. Because what did John say? I am your companion in tribulation. That's what John the Revelator said. Right? This is John, it's like Revelation chapter 1 and 9. See, it says the Patmos vision. I, John, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation and in the kingdom and patience of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, was in the isle that is called Patmos. Why was he there? Was he there on vacation? Did he have a cruise? No, it says for the word of the Most High and for the testimony of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. So he was there because he was going into the prophecies. And during this time, Diocletian had massive persecution against the Israelites, right? That pushed this word. So Diocletian of the Flavian dynasty around 96 AD or so, he essentially banished John the Revelator to the island of Patmos. And it was a salt mine there. So John received a vision from Yahweh Shah to write this letter to the church. Well, what John did is, like a lot of our forefathers, they put things in code. You don't read in the Bible and it says intercontinental ballistic missile, right? You're not going to read about, it doesn't say the so-called black man is an Israelite. It doesn't say America, you're going to be sent to America and a white man's going to rule over you. The Caucasian man. No, everything is written in code. So John being in captivity, he was writing in code, man, because he didn't want the people to get hold of this, and he wanted the churches to understand what was going on. And it's something Jake does on the plantations. Jake does in prison, man. Jake be on the phone. They even show you that in movies, man. If you've seen movies, these prison movies, State Property, other movies, they're talking in code. Oh, we gotta throw Johnny a party, right? Well, what does that mean, man? You got the Edomites listening in, throw him a party. Yeah, we had a good time. And then I remember in the movies they actually break down what they're talking about. But if you don't know the code, you're not going to get what was going on. A lot of languages and the plantations, like Patois, Creole, it was Pig Latin amongst Judites. Like my great grandma, if you're a Judite and your family from down south, more than likely your great grandmother, great grandfather, grandfather, they may have spoken Pig Latin, which is essentially codified talk to keep the understanding away from the so-called white man, right? And sometimes if I don't want my daughter, she's sharp, she pick up, I'll tell my wife something in code, I said in Pig Latin, right? So she don't pick up, so that was something. Or I remember when I was a child, my grandfathers would do that, and my grandmother, they'll say something in code, and so the children wouldn't know what was going on. And that's something that Jake always does. I believe if we look up, you can find it on if you look up Patois Creole, see if we can find it. Patois code, so we can get real quick. I may not have it. So they're going into slave codes. Right. Let's see. All right, they may not have it. I didn't really plan on diving deep into it, but it's something you can look up on your own. Let's see if they have something. Let's see. Origin. They have something. I spelled it wrong. That's all right. I said it goes back to Shakespeare, but it actually goes back to Jake using it on the plantation, so Jake know what was going on, right? So they could kind of keep communication amongst one another. So the point is, John wrote this in code so the people don't get it. That's why he said, here is wisdom, right? What is wisdom, right? Well, you have to know what wisdom is in order to break this down. So it says, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, right? So it's really 666. Now, to know this breakdown, you have to know what wisdom is first and foremost, because it says here is wisdom, right? Which means you have to get the understanding. This is Job chapter 28 and 28. And unto man he said, behold, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding. So you're not going to understand the number of the beast if you don't fear the Most High. If you're committing adultery, you're not going to get it. If you're still smoking weed, you're not going to get it, right? If you're into sorcery and you put other things before Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shah, other gods, you're not going to get it. Dealing with prostitutes, you're not going to get it. If you're freaking off, you're not going to get it, right? If you're sitting up there, you're shaving your beard, you're not going to get it. It's just not going to happen because you're moving in the spirit of the flesh. It says, here is wisdom, which means you have to fear the Most High and depart from evil, even have a so-called chance to think you're going to get the number of the beast. right? Let's get the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19. That's why you got people saying, oh, it's a barcode. You got people saying, well, no, it's really going into 666 wicked men, right? You got all types of lewd breakdowns because there's not an application of wisdom. And that's when men lean on their own understanding, right? And instead of going into the precepts, they seek the understanding from other sources, which things ought not to be done. Ecclesiasticus chapter 19 and 20, right? Sirach 19 and 20. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law and the knowledge of his omnipotency. So all wisdom is the fear of the Lord. And when you dive deep into it, when you really break it down, you fear the Most High by performing the law, right? So not commit adultery, not breaking the Sabbath, the purification laws of Leviticus, the 15th chapter, the high holy days. You have to perform the law to obtain wisdom. And you also have to, a wise man understands that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is omnipotent, which means he can do all things. Omni meaning all, potent meaning strength. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua has all strength. We know the Most High can do all things. You're going to be inclined to fear the Most High because he can destroy you, take the Holy Spirit away from you, just evaporate you off the face of the earth. He can increase you or he can break you down. Right? So when John said, here is wisdom, first of all, you have to know what wisdom is. And wisdom must be applied for you to have the breakdown. It also says, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. That is where it count when you look it up. It's not just saying, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This word count, it really means, I believe when you look it up, to calculate. Okay, it says, you look it up in the Greek, Saphizo, and it means to count with pebbles, because that's how they would count back then. They even show you that in the movie Life. The guy, you would count one pebble, that's 1, 2. Then you look at the third person, you move a pebble in your hand, that's 3. The fourth person, the pebble in your hand, that's 4. So that was an archaic way of counting. Like people still do an abacus. If you look at an abacus, it's essentially counting with pebbles that the Egyptians and the Greeks used, right? It's a mathematical tool for counting. So it helped them count to know exactly where they were, right? So that's an abacus, and it was used in Rome, Greece, and in Egypt. So it's for calculations. So that's why that word count, it means to count with pebbles, to compute, calculate, right? To give one's vote by casting the pebble into the urn. So it's essentially, this number is not something that you just could look on a TV show or a movie and say, okay, I know the breakdown. It doesn't work like that. This requires skill. It requires wisdom. That's why he says, here is wisdom, because this is something that's not just easily going to be understood. So John would say that at times, even in Revelation, the 17th chapter, he said, here is the mind that hath wisdom, right? And he would say that when he was really diving deep into the so-called white man. Because John Moses did the same thing. They both did. When Moses said that he and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. That's cold. Egypt is cold for America. The Lord said in Deuteronomy 28:48, thou shalt go to thy enemy for the one of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Who's the he? Well, that's code for the so-called white man. 28:44 in Deuteronomy. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Who's the he? Esau. Thou shalt be given into his hand for a time, times divided the time. So our forefathers always use code, right? This is Revelation chapter 17 and 9. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. Same thing in Revelation 13. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. So these 7 heads of the beast are 7 kingdoms, right? 7 kingdoms out of Rome, Greece. And you can read about these kingdoms in Revelation 13. You got the feet of the bear, you got the mouth of the lion, you got it's likened to a leopard, so it's Greece, Rome, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, Great Britain. Those are the 7 mountains on which this woman, which is America, sitteth. So you have to we've broken that down plenty of times. So I'm not going to take an hour and just dive into that, right? We've covered this in time past. Nevertheless, John is keying in on darker sayings in the book of Revelation. Here is the mind that hath wisdom. Same thing in Revelation 13. And here is wisdom, right? Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. This beast that it's speaking about is the same beast in Revelation chapter 13 and verse 11. Let's jump up and read about this beast. This is Revelation chapter 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So the beast in Revelation 13 and 18 is speaking about America. America is the beast that came up out of the earth, and they had 2 horns like a lamb, right? When you look at the precepts, the word horn is equal to strength and power. When you look at a ram, right, because it said it had 2 horns like a lamb. Right, let's pull up a ram. See that? 2 horns like a lamb. So it's really a ram. A ram is a lamb. It's the same thing. But a ram is a male that has horns. Okay? So it had 2 horns like a lamb. I mean, like a lamb. But it spake as a dragon. And a horn is your strength and your power. If you let one of these animals charge at you, they're coming with the force of the horn. They're not looking to kick you with the back of their feet like a donkey or a mule or a horse. They're not looking to bite you like a lion or a tiger or a bear. Their power lies in their horns. So horns represent power and strength, right? Let's prove that. Let's get 2 quick precepts. Let's go to Psalms chapter 89, right? This is Psalms chapter 89 and verse 17. For thou art the glory of their strength, and in thy favor our horn shall be exalted. Who's our horn? Our horn is Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. You see that? So our horn is not mathematics. Our horn is not college. Our horn is not the president. Our horn is not the military of America. Our horn is not religion and philosophies. Our horn is Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. That's our strength. Let's get another precept. Let's go to the book of Job. Read us Job chapter 16. Right? Job chapter 16 and 15. I have sewed sackcloth upon my skin and defiled my horn in the dust. What does that mean, defile your horn in the dust? It means now your power is being brought to a lower state. And our horn is defiled in the dust because we're in captivity right now. The name of the Most High is not magnified. The name of his son is not glorified. We have to work. We pay bills. We pay mortgages and rent. We work little jobs for little to no pay. We have knees in our neck. Our horn is defiled in the dust. So your horn is your power and your strength. So America, they have 2 horns like a lamb. And their main forms of strength is, like we always go into, their religion and their politics. Right? That's how they enslave, rape, rob, and murder the other nations. So they come off peaceable like a lamb. They come off docile like a lamb. They come off cordial like a lamb, non-violent like a lamb, but they speak as a dragon. So they're violent. So this beast is really going into Babylon the Great, right? So let's jump back to this. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count, meaning calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. So although it's speaking that the beast is America, it's really saying the number of a man. And his number is 603 So what man is this going into that rules in Babylon the Great or America? This man whose number is 666 is none other than the man of sin. Right? He is the man of sin. Let's get that in Second Thessalonians. It says it is the number of a man. It's not talking about Joe down the street or Deontay who stay on 63rd, right? Or Rail who stay on L Block. No, this man is Esau. He is the man. I want Second Thessalonians chapter 2, right? Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and 2. That ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter as from us, as that the day of Hamashiach is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. So the apostle Paul is saying that Yahushua will not return. His day of being magnified won't happen unless two things happen first. That's why it says, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. So Yahushua is going to return, but the falling away has to happen first. Meaning the Israelites have to fall away from their heritage. We have to go through the diaspora, the slave trade, be exiled out of our land, be apostates and fall away from the Most High, fall away from the truth. That's what the Lord said in Jeremiah 17:4, and thou even thyself shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in a land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. So we have completely fallen away. Right? Now, the second thing that has to happen is the man of sin has to be revealed, the son of perdition. When you reveal something, you bring it out of darkness, right? You bring it out of darkness and obscurity. And now the so-called white man is being revealed, right? His tunnels are being revealed. His Illuminati has been revealed. His secret societies have been revealed. His animal sacrifices and child sacrifice and sex trafficking and child trafficking has been revealed. His true agendas for the government and why they invade other lands and their true motives to harvest organs and natural resources and gold and oil and guns has been revealed. To enslave nations through the IMF and perpetual captivity of debt has been revealed. What this man is really about has been revealed. What his true identity is, being an Edomite, has been revealed. Everything is put on the forefront, man. And Yahushua said these things will happen, right? Let's get this in Luke chapter 12 and 2. Luke chapter 12 and 2. But there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. So everything's being brought to light, man. You even got wicked Jake celebrities, TD Jakes, Diddy, all of these guys, man, we've kind of been known, but now it's public. Now everybody knows that they go to that mansion and they do things that ought not to be spoken of. And they freak off, man. So everything's being revealed. The Boule, right? The Illuministic ones, those in these secret societies, those who conform to the beast, everything is being revealed. But the man is really the man of sin, right? And why is Esau called the man of sin? Because that's all he pushes forth on earth. Sodomy, idolatry, through false religion, philosophies, adultery, lust, and wicked music, and all types of wicked industries and entertainment and Hollywood, and bombs dropping and violence and robbery. There's not one law the so-called white man has kept. You name one law. You could pick any law in the Torah. There's over 600 of them. Because you may say, well, I could find one the so-called white man keeps. Find it. Right? You'll be reading till your damn eyes fall out, man. You're not going to find not now one commandment. Right? The so-called white man is the man of sin, the son of perdition. Perdition means destruction. Right? And we'll touch on this. Perdition means destruction or damnation. He is the son of destruction. Meaning what? If destruction was a person, if perdition was personified, if there was a man named Perdition that walked the earth and all he did was destroy, Esau is the exact same person. right? A man shall be known in his children. So he's the son of perdition. He's made in the image of perdition. We're the sons of God. So we do godly things. We love one another. We keep the commandments. We have faith. You understand? We abhor wickedness, man. Right? We love righteousness. We are the sons of righteousness. Does that mean righteousness is an actual person? No. We are the sons of righteousness, the sons of God. Esau is the son of destruction. So not only is he made to be destroyed, but he embodies everything that comes with death and destruction. Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2. Right? Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2, and let's get a precept on that. Habakkuk chapter 2 and 5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. See that? So he is as death. He is as destruction. It cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So he is likened unto his desire to obtain and rob and colonize is likened unto death. He is the son of destruction, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And that's what he does, man. He's the Pope. He's the Most High. He's the angels. He's white Jesus. He's the Israelites. Right? He's everybody, man. Who's supposed to be us. The Pope is telling people that he can now bless same-sex marriages. Well, who the hell are you? He wants to modify the 10 Commandments. Right? People bow down and worship this guy. So he's showing himself that he is the Most High. Any image you look up about the Most High, his son is going to be an Edomite. It's going to be a so-called white man. If you type in anybody in the Bible, type in King David, type in King Solomon, type in Peter, John, it's going to be an Edomite that pops up. Am I going to do it? No. Right? Because we've done it before. So you can look this stuff up, man. You know, he shows himself that he is the Most High. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now, ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. So here's his time to be revealed. Right? For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. What does this mean? For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. The mystery of iniquity is the man of sin. Paul is saying that the man of sin is already working. The mystery of who this man is, the mystery of who the man of sin is not somebody that you have to look forward to be on the earth in 2,000 years. It's not going to be a new creation. He's already here. So Paul knew something about the Roman Empire. So John did the same thing. Mystery, Babylon the Great, modern day, which is modern day Rome, America. They put it in a mystery or in code. Paul called the Roman Empire the mystery of iniquity. Right? Or the man of sin. So when you ask the average Joe who is responsible for the destruction of the earth, it's a mystery. Because they'll say, well, I think it's global warming. That's why the earth is out of whack. I think it's climate change. I think it's because we haven't come together. I think it's because the earth is it's spinning so many miles per hour and it's causing this. And everybody has these ideas of why they think things are out of whack. Chemtrails and Mother Nature. I mean, what the hell, man? People, February 2nd, they damn the groundhog, man. They're waiting on the groundhog to look at his shadow. Oh, 6 more months of winter. 6 weeks. God damn it. You got people that are mad, man. I mean, they're hot. That is 6 more weeks of winter. They're hot, man. Damn groundhog. So people have no idea what's going on, man. We know who's doing it. The Apostle Paul knew it. But could Paul just say, okay, the Nero, the so-called white man, he's in power right now. He's the man of sin. No. Because if they got hold, you got to think about it, if they got hold in this epistle, and they would have killed Paul, man, earlier than they had. They would have blew up the church. They would have killed the church of Thessalonians, man. You got to remember the time that they was in. This was heavy persecution. So you couldn't just say the Roman Empire is in power and they are the man of sin and they're going to be destroyed by the Lord. No. All of the churches would have got shut down. So this thing had to have been codified. Right? It had to have been codified. So the mystery of iniquity is the Roman Empire. It was ancient Rome then, but it's modern day Rome now. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let. Who's letting them be in power? The Most High. He's the one letting them do robbery. He's the one letting them commit extortion. The Most High is the one letting them bomb the earth. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Until the Most High take him out the way, man. Right? Until the Most High take him out of the way. The point is, that man in Revelation 13, the number of the man is really the man of sin, right? The man of sin who is set aside to be destroyed, man. He is set aside, Salakia, to be destroyed by Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? And it's no getting around it, right? Let's go to the book of Romans, right? Chapter 9. Right? Romans chapter 9. He is the son of perdition. The so-called white man is made to be destroyed. He's here to work until he's destroyed. And that's something that the world doesn't know. They don't know why the Renaissance happened. They don't know why America is the number one country or powerhouse in the earth, and Russia and NATO. They just can't seem to know. But the Most High told you that he essentially set up this man to be destroyed. The number 6, it means imperfection or destruction, right? The number 6 means imperfection or destruction. So that's why his number was 666. Because 6 means imperfection or destruction. Because the so-called white man was made imperfect in the flesh, and he was made imperfect in the spirit, and he was made to be destroyed. All right. First of all, he was born a leper, so he was made imperfect. Right? He was born without melanin. I mean, look at the so-called white man. I mean, look at this creep. Right? Do you really want to be this guy? Right? Oh my God. They have no lips. They have recessive genes. They have no melanin. Right? That their mind doesn't work. Right? They have recessive straight genes in their hair. I mean, they have no idea. Look at this guy. Bob, Pete. Right? They have no idea what's going on, man. He's made imperfect. And then we are made perfect. So he was also made imperfect in the spirit. Right? And we'll read that. I'm not going to read this whole, this whole thing is good at Romans 9. But I'll read Romans 9 and 10. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, right? For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High, according to election, might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. So the Most High elected one child to receive salvation, one child to be perfect, one child to be upright. And then there was another child out of Rebekah's womb that was made to be wicked. And it was nothing that they didn't have a say so. Esau couldn't say, well, I want to be right. I finally want to get my act. No. Jacob couldn't say, I want to be wicked. No. They were made the way that they were made. That's what it means when it says not of works, but of him that calleth. Your election is going to stand. Right? It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. Who's the elder? Esau. He's going to be a slave to the younger. So Paul knew the so-called white man would be in slavery. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So the Lord hated Esau when he was in Rebekah's womb. Now that's something I want you Christians to understand. Why does God hate Esau before he was even born? If God so loved the world, if he loves everybody, and he want to give them peaches and cream, put them in a limousine, right? He want to give them daffodils and lollipops, right? He wants to play Scrabble with them. Why does he hate the so-called white man before he was even born? He never even had a shot to get right. Never had a chance to learn uprightness, and he was already hated. As it is written, it's written in Malachi, the first chapter, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid, because you might say, well, that's wrong. That's unrighteous. God should at least give him a shot. That's not fair. It's not equitable for God to hate somebody before they even had a chance to learn what the truth is. The Lord said, hey, God forbid, that's not unrighteous. Because he's the Most High. He do what he wanted to do. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy, whom I will have mercy. And I will have compassion, whom I will have compassion. So if the Most High don't want to have mercy on you, he can do that. Who the hell are you to tell the Most High what he can and can't do? Man got to remember, you just a man. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy. So it has nothing to do with the will. Because you may will to be right. You got a lot of Edomites, they act like they want to do right. Right? They act like they want to go to church, play Christian praise music, give to the poor. But it's nothing that you could do. Right? It's nothing. You even got people that are wicked. They want to get right, but they'll never get the truth. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for the same purpose, have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. So the Lord raised up the so-called white man just to destroy him. That's why he's called the son of perdition. Not only does he bring destruction on the earth, but he was made to be destroyed. He has two purposes on the earth, to be the wicked and to be destroyed. Why do you think the Lord raised up Pharaoh? They had the greatest army, the greatest education, the greatest architecture, the most brilliant minds of antiquity. And you would think that with a society so advanced that they can never fall. And no kingdom can make them fall. Right? The Cushites couldn't make them fall. The Hittites couldn't make them fall. The Amorites couldn't make them fall. The Sea Peoples the Japhites couldn't make them fall. The Lord rose up the Egyptians just to bring them down. And the Most High does it all the time. He does that with brothers. Brothers are raised up, they're puffed up, give them knowledge. The Most High give a brother wisdom, he'll give him understanding, and then the Most High will destroy that man. So all of Israel could fear. Say, wow, see what the Most High could do. So the Lord is doing that to the so-called white man. Even for this same purpose, the same way he raised up Pharaoh is the same way he raised up Esau. Why do you think America is the number one country in military, GDP, imports, exports, economy, influence? They were raised up just to be destroyed. Raised up just to be destroyed by God. So this shows that the Most High, he does what he wants to do. And America is built up just to be broken down. And the sole purpose is the Most High's name is going to be declared throughout all the earth. Because right now, people know the name of the Most High. I know the name of the Lord. You know the name of the Lord. Yahweh is his name. And he is a man of war. And Yahweh Shah is his son's name. But does everybody know the name of the Most High? right? No. But when the Most High destroys America, there people are going to ask who did it. Like we always say, was it the Russians? Was it the Chinese? Was it the North Koreans? Was it the Iranians? No. And we're going to say it was Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua. And the Most High's name is going to be declared throughout all the earth. Because he is the one that's going to take down the greatest kingdom to ever exist. And that's going to bring him fame and power the same way it did in ancient Egypt. Right? Therefore, hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will, he hardeneth. Thou wilt say unto me. So again, the so-called white men in America, they're raised up just to be destroyed. So if you have hope in America, if you think that your job is going to save you, if you think that this economy is going to bounce back, if you think that all of the layoffs are going to do a 180 and turn back, and it's going to be the 1930s again and 1940s, you're sadly mistaken. The Most High is breaking his kingdom down, and we're pushing the name of the Most High now. So right now, they know. The only reason we know this truth is Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Men like to praise us and laud us for wisdom. We say all praise to the Most High. This is of Yahweh. Yahweh is destroying the earth. Yahweh is breaking these nations down. Yahweh put the spirit in America to bomb Iraq and Syria. Yahweh. We have no problem saying Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. Because the name has to be magnified. We don't give a damn about our name. Who cares who the hell Naquam is, man? Or Watchman for Israel. Who gives a damn? We care about the name of the Most High being magnified. Right? So that's why the Lord is bringing America up, man. Just so we can break him down, his name could be magnified throughout the earth. Thou will say then unto me, why doth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Because you could answer and say, well, okay, Lord, I see you raised up Esau to destroy him, but why? He didn't have a choice. That's not fair. Why are you finding fault in him? He's just a baby. Why do you hate him? He's a baby in the womb. That's not Christian-like, oh God. You're not being fair. You're not nice. You're not the God that I thought you were. That's what somebody would say to him. But here's what the Most High said. Neighbor, oh man, who art thou that repliest against the Most High? So who the hell do you think you are, man? Right? Shut the hell up, man. That's what the Most High, that's what he's saying. Right? It's like your child telling you, what you going to work for, man? Don't you know you need to do this? And you're going to put him in his place, man. See, a lot of times children get emotional and they start talking, they might talk back against their father. It might be out of emotions. This is an emotional statement. Why doth he yet find fault? Who hath resisted his will? You're the person in their feelings, man, if you say that. So when your children get emotional, and a father got to check them, man. Right? Sit your ass down, man. Right? Watch your mouth. Go have a seat, man. You know? So that's what the Most High is saying, essentially. Nay, but, oh man, who art thou that replies against the Most High? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? And the Most High have to remind you, you're just a thing. So now he leaning on you, man. First he called you, oh man. He didn't call you Israel, Yasha Allah, Jeshurun, my chosen one, my only begotten son. He said, you just a man. Then he said, you know what? You a thing. So you better watch out how you talking to the Most High. He said, shall the thing formed? We're just things that are formed. We have no business speaking against our Creator. Say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? So you can't sit there and say, Lord, why did you make Esau like that? How come you didn't give Esau melanin? How you didn't give him woolly hair? Why did you make me 5'10"? How come I'm not 6'10"? Lord, how come you didn't make me this? And I wish this. And no, the Lord do what he wanted to do. Hath not the potter power over the clay? Of the same lump, to make one vessel unto honor and another vessel unto dishonor. So the potter's the Most High. The clay is man. The lump is Rebekah's womb. And out of that clay, he made one vessel unto honor. We are the vessel unto honor, the children of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of Negro and Indian descent. We were made to be honored. We were made to be gods on the earth. We were made as a nation of kings and priests. And another unto dishonor. So somebody was made to be dishonored. Who's that? The so-called white man. He was made to be a captive and destroyed. Now here's the point I want. Verse 22. What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? So the so-called white man, he is a vessel of wrath fitted to destruction. He is made to be destroyed. He is the son of perdition, son of destruction. And there's nothing that he can do about it. That number 6, it means destruction or imperfection. And we'll go deeper into it. So I don't believe that. You keep saying it. We're going to prove it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. That's why 6 is equated to Esau, because 6 is imperfection or destruction. And we're showing you that Esau is a vessel fitted to destruction, a man of sin, the son of perdition, the mystery of iniquity, set up to be destroyed by the Most High, right? And there's nothing really Esau can do about it, right? It's not a damn thing that he can do about it through the spirit, right? Let's get further proof that this man is made to be destroyed. Let's go to Job 21. So, you got these Jakes you married to an Edomite. You got, any Edomite, man. I don't care if it's a baby. The Most High don't care if it's a toddler. He don't care if they're old, prepubescent, adolescent, old, senile. It don't matter, man. Every so-called white person, if you're watching this and you're an Edomite, I'm looking right at you. You were made to be destroyed by your creator. Now you can get mad. You can try to flag the video. You can get on the comment board. You can scoff. You can try to do. Hey, you were made to be destroyed by God. Right? Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Job chapter 21 and 29. Have ye not asked them that go by the way? And do ye not know their tokens? That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. So the wicked, the so-called white man, he is reserved. I mean, when you reserve something, you take it and you put it aside to use it when you want to use it. You can reserve a dinner seats or dinner reservation. You can do RSVP for a party or a venue. The Lord reserved the so-called white man. So he put him to the side to destroy him when he wanted to destroy him. And there's nothing he can do about it. Right? And then he's going to be brought forth on the day of wrath. Like you may have, like I got this glass right here. Right? Brother Household made this glass, right? I could take this glass and say, you know what? I'm going to use this glass for the day of evil. On the first day of the next month, I'm going to take this glass and I'm going to break it. Now, can this glass do anything? Can it say, well, hold on now. Hold on. Let's think about it. Let's talk about this. Remember all of the times that you put, whatever in me, water. Think about the times. And, hey, you can't say nothing, man. You're just a glass. Okay, well, hold on now. Right. Well, let's think about, let's walk through this, right? Take your time. Don't be so rash. Remember, the glass can't try to get in my mind. Right? I could take this glass and I could break it right now, man. It's reserved to be destroyed on the first day of the next month. Not literally, but the Most High is doing that with the so-called white man. He is the glass. He is the vessel. He's being reserved. The Most High is going to take him on the day of the Lord and break him when he deems fit. Right? Let's go to Job chapter 20 and 29. Right? Job chapter 20 and 29. This is the portion of a wicked man from the Most High, and the heritage appointed unto him by the Most High. So everything, his portion, his lot, was appointed unto him by God. So when you have an appointment by God, see, man could cancel an appointment. Your doctor could say, look, I'm full today, right? The restaurant could say, look, I know you had a reservation, but I'm sorry, we're booked. Okay, here's a voucher. You know, you go to the bar, right? Hey, they could, mess up your appointment. The Most High, he is not so, man. If you got an appointment with the Most High, he ain't gonna cancel that, man. The Most High is not, man, he's not fickle. The Most High is not double-minded. The Most High is not a man that he should lie. Neither the Son of Man that he should repent. Hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good? Paraphrasing Numbers 23 and 19. So Esau, you got an appointment, man. You got an appointment with Yahweh Shai, right? You have an appointment with Yahweh Shai on a day that the Heavenly Father knows. Now, can Esau say, whoa, I don't want that appointment? No, you got to deal with it, man. They say you got a date with destiny, man. You have an appointment with Yahweh Shai, and we're going to see what that appointment is about to be. It's not going to be about nothing nice, right? It's about your destruction and your demise, right? Let's go to Revelation 17, right? Revelation chapter 17 and verse 8. Still dealing with this perdition and destruction. The beast, right? This beast is what? America. The beast that thou sawest is Rome, but it's really America when you get the understanding. It's the same thing. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and what? And go into perdition. So that links up with Romans 9 and 22. America was made to go into perdition. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, they were made to be destroyed. Job chapter 21 and 30, reserved for the day of evil. They were made to be destroyed. We can't harp on it enough, right? And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. So America, again, the so-called white man, was made for perdition and or made for destruction. Let's get one more, because you could say, well, I'm not satisfied, right? This is Isaiah. One more on that, right? Chapter 34 and verse 5, right? Isaiah 34 and 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Idumea is another way of saying Edom, right? Idumea, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. So the Lord has destruction upon the people of his curse. What does that mean? The people of his curse, right? These are people reserved for destruction, right? People reserved for destruction. When you look this word curse up, the word curse in the Hebrew, right? Quran, it reads, a thing devoted, dedicated, have been utterly destroyed, appointed to utter destruction, accursed. So when the Most High said that the Edomites, or my sword is going to be upon the people of my curse, it means upon a son of perdition. The word curse means appointed to utter destruction, right? These people are appointed to utter destruction and devoted to destruction. You know, and it's really, Esau doesn't have a say-so in that. The so-called white man has absolutely no say-so on how that thing is going to go. Let's go back to Revelation 13. Right? So now we know Esau, he's created to be destroyed. Right? Because again, this number 6, we're going to dive into what it means, destruction or imperfection. That is the number attached to Esau. Because he is a man set up to be imperfect, a man set up to be destroyed. Right? Now it says, and his number is 603, which is what? 666. Now let's go into this. Every number, or most numbers in the Bible, have a meaning. John wrote this in code, right? To the man that has wisdom. Now, the number 3 has a meaning. The number 4 has a meaning. 5 has a meaning. 6 has a spiritual meaning behind it. 7 has a spiritual meaning behind it. 8, right? 9, 10. So you can't just take this number and say, it means whatever you want it to mean without going through the precepts. You have to go through the precepts to get the understanding, right? Let's go to Psalms 119. Right, this Psalm chapter 119 and 104. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. So this is how you get the understanding of the number of the beast. First and foremost, you have to go through the precepts. First and foremost, you have to go through the precepts, right? And like we went into, numbers, they carry weight in the Bible. The number 10, right? Let's deal with the number 10. The number 10 means what? Let's go to Sirach 20. Actually, let's hold Sirach. Let's go to Job. 10 means, Salakia, whole or completion. That's what the number 10 means, right? An indefinite amount. Job 19:3. These 10 times have ye reproached me. Ye are not ashamed that ye make yourself strange to me. Was it literally 10 times? No. 10 just means a complete amount of times they reproach Job, right? Let's get another precept, right? Job. That's why this Bible is written for the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man, because we're the one that use this code, that uses kind of lingo, right? Numbers 14 and 22. Because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles, which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, have tempted me now these 10 times and have not hearkened to my voice. Did Israel tempt the Most High 10 times? And it wasn't the 11th? No. Right? But again, that number 10 is being used as a number of completion. Even the number 9. 9 means incompletion. Right? 9 really means the same thing as 6. 9 means incompletion or imperfection. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 25. It's like that's what I want. In verse 7, right? There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy. And the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that hath joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. So 10 is completion. 9 is imperfection. Same thing with 6 and 7. All right. So the Most High, he'll use these numbers in a way to bring about a level of understanding. Right. What does the number 8 represent? 8 represents infinity. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 8. So you have people that get into numerology, but they get into it on the left-hand side. Oh, my lucky number. People play the lottery. My lucky number is, damn 3. Right? Or, my grandparents used to speak about playing the lottery. Ah, damn, my name fell. To this day, I don't know what that means. My name fell. Ah, damn, my damn name fell. I should have played that. Right? Damn, Joe fell today. Right? So they were into that stuff, man. They had a book, a lottery. Let me see if I can find that. A lottery dream book, man. See that? I remember they had one of these, man. And it kind of look, number, vibrations, master key system, 3-digit, 4-digit, dream words. So this guy, they get into sorcery. So they were into sorcery, man. Right? Because people are diving into that stuff, but it has no value, man. Your dream book doesn't mean anything. Esau deal with numbers too. Esau deal with numbers on the left-hand side, like we go into. Esau deal with 6, 13, 33. He deal with a lot of that stuff too, man. The Most High deal with numbers, but the Most High deal with it on the right-hand side, right? Bear with me. So, like, yeah, the Most High, he deal with numbers, but he deal with it in righteousness. Does that mean we supposed to say, okay, well, my lucky number's 4? No, we don't deal with lucky numbers, man. Right? We dealing with the precepts. This Ecclesiastes, I want chapter 11. Right? We went into the number 10. We went into the number 9. Now we're going into the number 8. Right? And eventually you'll see through the precepts what the number 6 actually means. Right? Ecclesiastes chapter 11 and verse 1. Cast thy bread upon the waters, for thou shalt find it after many days. The bread that you cast upon the waters, on one level, you give alms, right? You give alms to the poor, you give alms to brothers in need, you let it not rust upon a rock to be lost, and that water will come back to you. That's how the water cycle works, right? It rains, condenses, then it, it evaporates, right? You know the cycle, right? It evaporates, condenses, it rains, and it happens all over again, right? So the waters are going to come back to you, right? So whatever you put out there is going to come back to you. And on the spiritual level, the bread is Yahweh Shai. And the waters represent the nations, where our people are scattered. So you cast your bread upon upon the nations, or upon where our people are, and you'll find that bread after many days. The Lord will fill you back up with that bread. You give knowledge, you get knowledge. Freely as thou hast received, freely give. And the Most High keeps feeding you, right? Rather you get it today or you get it in many days. Verse 2. Here's the point. Give a portion to 7 and also to 8, for thou knowest not what evil shall be upon the earth. It's not literally 7 and then you only give to 8. Then the 9th person asks you, you say no. No, man, 7 means completion and perfection. 8 is beyond that. So 8 is infinity. Like the infinity sign. You look it up. They get it from infinity symbol. It's really just the number 8. Right? Because it's an everlasting loop, right? It's an eternal loop of repetition, right? It's infinity, right? So that's that number 8 through the spirit. 8 represents infinity in the scriptures. It's beyond 7. If 7 is perfection and completion, 8 is beyond that. Okay? Now, let's get another precept. For the Micah 5. You'll see that again being used that same terminology and poetic fashion in the book of Micah as well. This is the book of Micah, chapter 5 and 5. And this man shall be the peace when the Assyrians shall come into our land, and when he shall tread in our palaces. Then shall be raised against him 7 shepherds and 8 principal men. 7 shepherds and 8 principal men. Does that mean you count 15? Okay, you got 1, you got 2, I got 3 men. Okay, then I got this guy. All right, then 5. No, that's a carnal understanding. That's how one of the nations will break it down. They look at these numbers and they don't have the spirit to discern when the Most High is using a poetic fashion, when the Most High is using code, when the Most High is using it in the dark saying, right? This same spirit of 7 and 8 was just read in Ecclesiastes chapter 11. So 7 shepherds and 8 principal men just means an indefinite fighting force. Rather, it's the armies above, from the heavens, the angels, and Israel being an army to take down these nations. Now, 8 means an indefinite amount, right? An indefinite amount. So we went through 10, we went through 9, we went through 8, right? Now let's deal with 7. And again, you'll see what 6 means by the precepts. You don't have to turn on a movie to figure out what the number 6 means. You don't have to read some article online to figure out what the 6 means. Through thy precepts, I get understanding. Therefore, I hate every false way. So let's deal with the number 7 now, right? Let's deal with the number 7. Let's go to Psalms. right? Chapter 12 and 7. Why are we going through this? Because the beast number is 666. So we're going through biblical numerology through the precepts to get the understanding of 6, right? And what it means and why John decided to use 6 3 times. Okay. So this is Psalms chapter 12 and 7. Slakia. Psalms 12 and 6. That's what I want. Salakia. Psalms chapter 12 and verse 6. The words of Yahweh are pure words, as silver tried in the furnace of earth, purified 7 times, meaning perfection, completion. Perfection and completion is the word of God. There's nothing that has to be added to it. There's nothing that has to be taken away from it. That's what it's a sin if you decide to do so. And Deuteronomy 4 and 2, because this is perfect. It's been purified and tried 7 times. There's no blemish. There's no contradiction in the Bible. There's no mistake that the Most High made, right? There's nothing that's not perfect from the word of God, right? So let's get another one. Let's go to Revelation 10 and 3. Revelation chapter 10 and verse 3. And cry with a loud voice as when a lion roareth. And when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. And when the 7 thunders, now the 7 thunders are really just going into the angels up there because they speak like thunder, right? So they're called the 7 thunders, which really, we'll dive into it. When the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up those things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. So the 7 thunders represent the plethora of angels up there that gave John a level of understanding. John knew it, but John couldn't write it down. We're going to get the understanding of the 7 thunders in the kingdom, right? If we make it, Lord willing. So 7 means completion or perfection. You got the 7 thunders. You got the word of the Most High being purified 7 times, right? You also have, let's go to, so I had a good amount. Let's go to Revelation. Actually, let's go to Exodus. We'll get the law. I want to get this one out the law. Right, Exodus 22 and verse 30. Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with this dam. On the 8th day thou shalt give it meat. So why do you keep the bird or the calf, right, or the baby with its mother 7 days? Because 7 days is perfection, right? To grow, to nurse, to get that time. 7 days. On the 8th day you could take it, but you cannot take it. Anything less than 7 days will be imperfection. Okay. And let's get one of my favorite 7 precepts. Right? Let's go to Joshua, the 6th chapter. Joshua chapter 6 and verse 4. And the 7th priest shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns. And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times, and the priest shall blow at the trumpets. So you have 7 priests, 7 trumpets. On the 7th day, they compass Jericho 7 times. So you can see clearly that that number 7 is being used for perfection and completion. Now, we dealt with 7. Let's deal with 6, right? Let's deal with the number 6. 6 means incompletion or destruction, right? It's 1 short of 7. Just like 9. 9 is 1 short of 10. There'll be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and a 10th will I utter with my tongue, right? Because once you get that 10th thought, you have to utter it. It's complete. It has to come out. So same thing with 6. 6 and 7 is the exact same thing through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? So Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 16. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. So 6 goes into imperfection. 7 makes it complete. All right. I'm going to say that again. 6 is imperfection. also destruction, but 7 makes it complete. If you don't have 7 and you have 6, it's imperfect because 7 is perfection. You're 1 short. All right. You are 1 short. That's why the precept, we get this quick precept in Ecclesiastes, chapter 1. Right? This is Ecclesiastes. Actually, before I get that, I had Job, right? I had some precepts written down. Job chapter 5, and we went through these before. Job 5:19. He shall deliver thee and 6 troubles. So you got 6 trumpets, you have a 6 seal, you have a 6 vial, and all of those bring about destruction too. When the 6th trumpet blow, that's destruction on the earth. When the 6th seal is open, the missiles begin to drop. When a 6th vial is poured upon the earth, that's more destruction. Right? We'll touch on that too. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. What are the 6 troubles? You got famine, you got war, you got the beasts of the earth destroying you, right? You have many troubles, but the Lord called it all 6. And 7 makes it complete. And 7, there shall no evil touch thee. So 6 being 1 short of 7 makes it imperfection and or destruction. It's another precept dealing with 6. Let's go to the book of I had a precept that I wanted to go to, right? Let's go to Ecclesiastes. I had that one written down, but I want to go into that one. Ecclesiastes 1:15. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. What does that mean? That which is wanting cannot be numbered. You're wanting meaning lacking, right? So if you have a particular amount of saints that have to receive salvation, and a brother is lacking wisdom or understanding and faith, he's not going to be numbered amongst the saints, right? If a man is set up to receive salvation, he's wanting qualities and prerequisites for deliverance, he will not be numbered amongst the multitude of those that will be delivered. The same thing, that which is crooked cannot be made straight. When something's, if you got a bunch of straight rulers and one of them is crooked and broke, and you throw that one away, man. Just like with the crooked, just like the wanting. 7 is the number we want to hit. For those who are wanting, they're going to wear that number 6 because they're lacking the ability to hit 7 on a spiritual level, right? Everybody that's going to make it, they're part of the 7,000. We read that in the book. Let's read it again in Romans. The Lord has 7,000 men, right? Romans chapter 11 and verse 4. But what saith the answer of God unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men, which have not bowed the knee to the image of all. So if you're wanting, you're not going to be numbered amongst the 7. You're imperfect. You are 6, right? You've been given a number 6, really 666. And we'll see why the number 6 is mentioned 3 times. You had 6 cities of refuge, and the cities of refuge was for men that represented death and destruction, right? Because these were men that killed people, right? You had David and Joab spent 6 months killing all of the Edomites, man, and that's spiritual, right? 1 Kings chapter 11 and 15. This is what I want. For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host, was going up to bury the slain after he had smitten every male in Edom. For 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel until he has cut off every male in Edom. See that? So that's spiritual right there. Why 6 months and why Edom? Right? Because that's that same spirit that's on Esau now. Huh? That number 6, and Esau knows that. That's why he has a lot of his wisdom celebrities, man. A lot of these celebrities, they know about this stuff, man. Esau knows that's his number. We know we deal with the number 7. David says, 7 times a day do I pray to the Most High, right? Esau deals with a luministic, Luciferian sorcery, man. Right? And these guys don't need a physical device in them. They've already sold their soul. All of these celebrities, every person. Now you can say, well, I'm not a celebrity. You know, hey, guess what, man? If you don't have integrity to uphold the truth in the last days and the ability to separate from the world, you're no better than these people who hold these six. See, they do it proudly and they accept it. Jake, a lot of Jakes are doing it, but not on this level, right? They're doing it, but not on this level, but they still have the number of the beast. You know? I can say, well, not my favorite. You got a lot of people saying, well, my favorite artist isn't like that. My favorite celebrity, he's conscious. He knows, right? He puts truth. These Negroes have all sold out and have got bent over by an old so-called white man, and they got popped, right? And they have to do strange things. It's coming out now. You had Cassie talking about Diddy. Then you had these other women came out. You got all these rich so-called Jew Amalekites in the industry. And one of these guys, I can't remember who he was, man. They had this quick clip. It was Kevin Hart. And it was his Edomite woman. She said people threw millions of dollars. I can't remember her name. She was the American Idol. She sang songs, country singer, right? Caitlyn. I don't know her name, right? But she said, you know, people threw millions of dollars at me to get me to do things that I didn't want to do. And Kevin Hart, he was sitting up there. He was like, you know, don't. You can find the clip if you can find it on your own, right? But he was kind of did this and kind of told her, hey, look, you know, basically, hey, look, man, what are you trying to do here? Are you trying to expose us? You trying to what's going on? You know the deal. Because a lot of these guys, they got a deal, man. And they're not allowed to speak up and speak on behalf of what they had to do to get to where they are now. All these mansions, all these cars, all these women, paparazzi, fames, accolades, all these things. Shalakia. Right? All these things they got by freaking off. And yes, it's your favorite celebrity too. Now, why are they throwing up the 666? Do they know the breakdown in Revelation? Are they well studied? Are they going through the precepts? They went through the number 10, they went through 9, 8, 7, 6, went through 5, 4, 3. They went through all of the numbers and they found out that no. What it is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, has given that name and that number over to the so-called white man, right? That's what it is. The Lord gave that over to a lot of their sorcerers and a lot of their wizards, and it deals with the level of demonology and sorcery, right? That's what that 6 represents: imperfection and destruction. And the Most High gave him over to that number. The Most High could have gave him 7, but he gave that to the elect, right? And let me see if I can find more. Let's see, hand. You can see that, right? If they're not doing that, they throwing up. Look at this. Your neighborhood Al Sharpton. He's one of the biggest sellouts. They throw up the all-seeing eye. So these guys don't need a device inside of them, right? They're already there. Look at that. Oh, and LeBron James is the most wicked, man. I mean, he has blatant videos of him calling upon Satan just publicly. There's your favorite. People say, well, not Meek Mill. That's my favorite. Meek Mill is getting, he has a boyfriend, right? you know his name, that so-called white man. Not Willy Wonka. Willy Wonka would never. Well, you got Willy Wonka, right? Mr. T, not Mr. T. Mr. T was a macho man. He was masculine. Everybody is there. Not Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, right? They're deep into this world, huh? And they're showing their allegiance to the spiritual demon Satan, right? They're throwing up their allegiance to the spiritual demon Satan. So that 6 represents destruction and imperfection. Now, let's deal with the number 5. All right, let's deal with the number 5. Let's go to Matthew 25. So we went through 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Here's what the number 5 represents. Matthew chapter 25 and 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. So remember, 10 virgins, 10 means completion. And 10 virgins are the servants of the Lord. It's no set number. So if there's no set number, 5 just means an indefinite amount of 10, right? 5 is just an indefinite amount, right? 5 were wise and 5 were foolish. It's not literal 5 wise virgins. It's just an indefinite amount. That's what 5 represents throughout prophecy and throughout the Bible. Another precept on 5. Revelation chapter 9 and verse Salakia 10. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were strings, it's like it stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. So when the Lord has World War III kick off, and these jets and these helicopters are shooting missiles and nerve gas and destruction and bombs on the earth, it's not going to be forever. It's not going to be for 10 months. 10 months will be forever. 5 months is just an indefinite period of time. All right. So that's what 5 represents. Let's get one more dealing with the number 5. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 18. And that day shall 5 cities and the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan and swear to the Lord of hosts. One shall be called the city of destruction. So in these last days, you're going to have 5 cities speaking the language of Canaan. Is that literal? You're going to have 5 cities. You got LA, New York, Philly, Chicago, Miami, and they all speak the Hebrew. No. The 5 cities represent a portion of Israelites that are going to come back to the truth. Right? Yeah, they're going to know some Hebrew, but it's really saying when you speak the language of Canaan, you make mention of the Hebrew, of your heritage, of your nationality. Right? That's all it's saying. It's not saying they're literally just going to all know everything in the Hebrew, right? Just going to say, calling upon the name of the Most High, you know, the name of Yahweh, and his son Yahweh Shai, and you come back to the truth. So you have 5 cities speaking the language of Canaan. 5 just means an indefinite amount. If the Lord wanted everybody to come to the truth, he would have said 10 cities are going to speak the language of Canaan, or 7 cities are going to speak the language of Canaan. This isn't for everybody. It's only for 5 cities. It's not for every virgin. It's for the 5 wise virgins. It's not for the 5 foolish virgins. All right. Now, dealing with the number 4. 4 represents infinity as well, or an indefinite amount. Right. That's what 4 represents. Amos chapter 1 and 3. Thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Damascus, and for 4, see that? Meaning many, or an indefinite amount. I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they have threshed Gilead with threshing instruments of iron. So 3 sins and 4 meaning many sins. All right, so 4 you can say it means many, or infinity, or an innumerable multitude, or an indefinite amount. Right, for those that are taking notes. Amos chapter 3 and 6. Here's another account, right? Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Gaza, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they carried away captive the whole captivity to deliver them up to Edom. So that's what 4 represents: many, or an innumerable multitude, or an indefinite amount. Let's get one more dealing with 4. So again, when you're dealing with 666, you got to know what all these numbers mean, because you'll think 6 is just some random number that was chosen by the Most High. No, everything has meaning and weight. The Lord does everything in number and in weight. Proverbs 30 and 24. There'll be 4 things. Actually, Proverbs 30 and 21. For 3 things, the earth is disquieted, and for 4, which it cannot bear. So you see that same poetic fashion of 3 and then 4. All right. Now 3, we dealt with 5, 4. Now 3 represents emphasis. So that's why you have the number 6 being mentioned 3 times. Let's go back to Revelation. There's a reason why the number 6 is being mentioned 3 times. Because 6 means destruction, and it's mentioned 3 times because 3 means emphasis. Right? So let's go into that. Which means which the Most High said, it's complete destruction. Right? That's why the precepts we went into, there are people reserved for the day of destruction. Right? So let's deal with this. Let's go to the book dealing with the number 3. Right? Let's go to 1 Kings after 18. Right? Let's deal with 1 Kings chapter 18 and verse 13. Right? 1 Kings 18 and 13. I believe I want Salakia. I want 32. Right? This Elijah telling them how to set up this sacrifice that he wants to do. Now check out the instructions, right? 1 Kings chapter 18 and 32. And with the stones he built an altar in the name of Yahweh, and he made a trench about the altar, as great as would contain 2 measures of seed. And he put the wood in order, and cut the bullock in pieces, and laid him on the wood, and said, fill 4 barrels with water, and pour it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood. So it said pour water on a sacrifice and on a wood, which means this fire is going to come from Yahweh Bashmel Shai. Because when you got that wet wood, you can't light it on fire. So he's about to show the power of the Most High by pouring water on things that can no longer catch fire. Now, he told them to do that, right? Verse 34. And he said, do it the second time. And they did it the second time. And he said, do it the third time. And they did it the third time. And the water ran about the altar, and he filled the trench also with the water. How come he said do it 3 times? How come he didn't say, okay, do it a 4th time, and a 5th time, and a 6th time? Because the 3rd time is enough. It's emphasis. It's completion. When you have something done 3 times, it's completion or emphasis. It's not that's just a coincidence. He should have did it 4 times or a 2nd time. No, 3. You have to know Yahweh Basham Shine, why he put these numbers in there. Right? That's why he said do it a 3rd time. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 12, verse 7. Another precept, right? So now we're dealing with 3. And lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations. This is Paul speaking, right? There was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure, right? For this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from you. Why did the Lord beseech him thrice? It's like, why did he beseech the Lord thrice? He prayed once, it wasn't happening. He prayed a 2nd time, it wasn't happening. He prayed a 3rd time. Then the Lord came down and said, what? And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, For my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Hamashiach may rest upon me. So upon his third time, same thing Elijah did it 3 times, then a fire came from heaven. Paul prayed the third time, and then the Lord came to him, right? So that 3 is a spiritual number. That means perfection or emphasis. 1 Samuel chapter 3 and verse 8. And the Lord called Samuel again the third time. And he arose and went to Eli and said, Here am I, for thou didst call me. And Eli perceived that the Lord had called the child. Why? Because the Lord called Samuel the first time. Samuel got up, said, Here am I, Lord. And he went to Eli. Eli said, Go back down. Right? I didn't call you. Then the Lord called Samuel the second time. Samuel said, Here am I, Lord. Samuel went to Eli. Eli said, I didn't call you. Go back to bed. Right? Or when you hear the Lord, say, Here am I. Right? Then the Lord called Samuel the third time. And then Eli perceived the Lord had called the child. And the Most High speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. So then the Most High got to talk to you the third time. Usually by the third time, Jake, you get it. Right? By the third time, it's going to hit. Like, damn, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should. Right? Maybe that's not the way to go. I done heard it once. I done heard it twice. Damn, it's just the third time I'm hearing that. So the Most High deal with that number 3. He's dealing with that number 3, right? Job chapter 33 and verse 14. For the Most High speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. Right? So the Most High can talk to you once, like he did Samuel. Then he could talk to you twice, but yet man isn't going to perceive it. So that's why Eli perceived it the third time. Once is not enough for the Most High. 1-6 is not enough. 2-6 is not enough. 3 is enough for man to perceive that this, when they got that epistle, that whoever this man was, which you know it's Esau, he's made to be utterly destroyed by the Most High. Complete destruction. That's why it's 6, but it's mentioned 3 times. Right? Through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right? That's why it's mentioned 3 times. That's what that number 3 is dealing with. Now, let's get one more dealing with the number 3. Let's go to John. Right? 21 and 15. John, actually, I'm going to start at 17. John 21 and 17. He saith unto him the third time. So this is Yahushai. Yahushua said it 3 times. Not 4, not 2. Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahushua saith unto him, feed my sheep. So Yahushua said it the third time, then Peter got it. Right? 2 times was not enough. The third time is enough. The third time is enough. Right? So now you know what these numbers mean on the spiritual level. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3. Now there are other numbers that have meanings. 40 is a number used. It rained 40 days and 40 nights. Moses fasted on the Mount Sinai 40 days. Yahushua fasted 40 days, 40 nights. So that's a spiritual number. 12. You have 12 tribes of Israel. You have the 12 stones of the ephod. You have 12 angels over the 12 gates of the city. You got the 12 apostles of the Lamb, right? So 12 is a spiritual number. 24, you got 24 elders. You had 24 courses of priesthood. You had 24,000 bands of soldiers in 1 Chronicles 27. So yeah, that 24,000, 24 is a spiritual number. Then the Most High multiplied 24 by 12, and you have 288 when you read the book of Chronicles 2, because he put 24 and 12 together. So the Most High, he's into these numbers, man. And you have to know the code, right? Because this thing is a secret, right? The Most High deals with secrets, right? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 25 and 14. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. So there are secrets, right? Revelation 13 and 18, here is wisdom. This is a secret. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, meaning calculate it. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Now, another thing dealing with this calculation is something that that our forefathers knew during the time of the Greeks, is in the time of the Roman Empire. When you wanted to write things in code, you would put numbers and it would be attached to a name. That was something that was prevalent to codify messages in the time of the Roman Empire. They would take words or names, and if they didn't want the emperor or the magistrates to know what they were talking about, they would put a numerical value for each letter of that name, right? So that's also another way to go into the 666, because that number is really the number of his name. And I'm going to read that in verse 17, Revelation 13 to 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So the number of his name. So again, in antiquity, and we'll prove it, we'll go through the history. We went through it before, but I wanted to go through it again on the Cold Cuts channel, with some brevity behind it, that names had numerical values and they were used in code. Now, that's called, when you look it up, isosophy, right? Isosophy, meaning equal, and sephos, meaning pebbles, because you use pebbles to count. Isosophism is the practice of adding up the number values of letters and a word to form a single number, right? So your name, whatever it is, it will have a letter. And in the Hebrew, we have that, right? You have ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, cha, ta, ya, ka, la, ma, na, sa, I, pa, ta, za, ka, ra, sha, ta, right? So your A is 1, ba is 2, ga is 3, da is 4, etc. Right? Then you hit your 10, then your 20, then your 30, then your 40, your 50, your 60, your 70, your 80, your 90, and your 100, your 200, your 300, and your 400. Right? That's how your Hebrew works. All right? Same thing in the Greek. Remember, the New Testament was translated in the Greek. So it's the same concept. It reads, the total number is then used as a metaphorical bridge to other words, evaluating the equal number, which satisfies isos or equal. The early Greeks used pebbles. That's why I said when you count, it's really a calculation. It goes back to how they would count with pebbles, arranged in patterns to learn arithmetic and geometry, which corresponds to sephos or pebbles. Isosophy is related to gematria, the same practice used in the Hebrew alphabet. Yeah, because again, in the Hebrew, each letter has numerical value behind it. And our forefathers would use that at certain times, right? It reads, it is also related to the ancient number systems of many other peoples. For the Arabic alphabet version, a gematria of Latin script languages was also popular in Europe in the Middle Ages to the Renaissance. And its legacy remains in code breaking. So it's used when you write, like John put it in code. John couldn't just call out the so-called white man. So he had to use this type of code, which was common in Rome, that John was familiar with, right? He knew about these things. So when this stuff was sent out to the churches and they got it, they couldn't charge John with treason or punish the churches or burn down Pergamos or burn down the church of Thyatira and raid the church of Sardis and say, y'all are speaking against the Roman Empire, right? Y'all are speaking against Caesar. Y'all are speaking against Esau. So John, the Spirit of the Most High, had him write it in code. All right, because it's the number of his name. So the legacy remains in code breaking, numerology, it says, and Masonic symbolism. Now, some quick history behind it. Now you can say, well, I don't like Wikipedia. I want to look up something else. Okay, you can look up something else. You're gonna find the same thing, right? Because I've done it. So this is I want to get this. An early reference to isosophy, albeit of more than usual sophistication, employing multiplication rather than addition, right? It says Apollonius of Perga, writing in the 3rd century BC, he asked, given the verse, 9 maidens praise the glorious power of Artemis, what does the product of all these elements equal? So that was an ancient way of putting stuff in code, right? When you would add these letters, and they've been doing that in Greece and in Rome. They would take a phrase or a saying, and they would assign a mystery to it or put it in a riddle form and give it to people who could break it down and understand it. It wasn't just something that was displayed before the world. More conventional are the instances of isosophy found in graffiti at Pompeii, dating from around 79 AD. One reads, I love her, whose number is 545. So if you didn't know how to break it down, you say, well, who the hell is 545? Like some people, they don't know who 666 is. They don't know that it's the number of a man, right? They're saying, well, when you look at the barcode and you read these 2 lines, then you look at that line, then you add that line together, right? I mean, that has nothing to do with how things were done in the ancient world. Okay, or when you look at, you peel back a so-called white man's forehead, you got people saying some people got it on their forehead, man. And they get that from that movie. You look up who's that, Omen or Damien? I don't know what movie that was. Omen. See if you can find that. One of these guys had it under their damn scalp. So they got all creeped out about it, man. Look, the 666, the child. As if it's something, on your forehead, man. Literally. I have to find what movie that was. But one of these movies, they actually went back in his scalp. Let's see if I got it under hair. If they got a picture of that. Yeah, this is what it was. Antichrist the Omen. And they put damn 666 in his hair. It's not what it's talking about. Huh? It's not saying that the wicked Antichrist is going to have 666 under his scalp. Right? And then you peel him back. Oh, that's the Antichrist right there. Right? No, that's Christian mythology. It's not biblical. Right? So they would use, again, going back to the point, they would use code to break this down. And there are prominent examples in the ancient world. Like this, I love her whose number is 545. Right? Like John said, let him that count. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 All right. Somebody's number of old that they found in Pompeii in 79 AD, their number was 545. All right. Another says, Amarimnus thought upon his lady Harmonia for good. The number of her honorable name is 45. So he knew the code. He knew the understanding, right? He knew how to go into it. Suetonius, which was a Roman historian, when you know about him, you had Tacitus, you had Suetonius, you had Josephus. You had Herodotus. These are famous Greek and Roman scholars, right? Now, Suetonius was a Roman historian. Now, listen to what he said. Suetonius, writing in 121 AD, reports a political slogan that someone wrote on a wall in Rome, right? Nero Orestes Alcmaeon, their mother slew. A calculation knew Nero his mother slew, right? So they would write these things in code. Again, they would write it in a codified version with a numerical value to it, right? And there's countless examples. Now, when you're dealing with the Greek also has a letter associated with the numerical value. Alpha is 1, beta is 2, gamma is 3, delta, epsilon, sigma, zeta, eta, theta, iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nu, chi, omicron, pi, quappa, rho, sigma, tau, epsilon, phi, chi, psi, omega, sampi, right? If I'm pronouncing those correctly. Now, each one of these have a value, you can see. And it's somewhat like the Hebrew, because the Greek goes back to the Hebrew, obviously. Alpha goes back to Aleph. Beta goes back to Bayath. Gamma goes back to Gamal. Delta goes back to Delath, meaning door. And this is the same symbol, same triangle or door of a tent. Okay? So you'll find a lot of similarities between the Greek and the Hebrew because the Hebrew is the original language, right? Nevertheless, each one of these letters have a spiritual meaning through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Now, when you read the book of Revelation, let's read this one more time. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. And what man is this? This is the man of sin that we read about in 2 Thessalonians. The mystery of iniquity. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, but that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Who is the man of sin? Esau. Esau is the man of sin. Now, of old, there were names that were 45, 545. You had other names with these numerical values. When you deal with Esau, believe it or not, adds up to 6. But it's 666 because it's complete destruction, right? Esau's numerical value adds up to 6. Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 9, right? So this was the code that John the Revelator was going into, right? Romans chapter 9 and 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Now, when you go into Esau, right? Esau's numerical value in the Greek, this adds up to 6, right? But again, it's mentioned 3 times because it's imperfection and complete destruction, because 3 is completion. Now, how do you know that? Right? Because we went through it before, but we'll go through it again. So here's Esau in the Greek, right? Now, it adds up originally to 1401. And then you add that up and it adds up to 6. All right? Each letter, 800. Your sigma, 200. Your alpha, 100. And I believe that's your epsilon, right? That's 400. So it adds to 1401, and then you add 140 and 1, and it adds to 6. And it's 3 times because 3 means emphasis. So that's why you have 6, 6, and 6, which is complete destruction to the so-called white man. That is the number of his name. His number is 666. Complete destruction, the number of the beast, right? And that number, really, 6 is equivalent to Esau. And the Most High set that up, right? The Most High set it up where you add up Esau's name, it's imperfection or incompletion. So when you go back to 2 Thessalonians, that's why he's the man of sin, right? That's why this name, when you go back to Revelation 13, it's the number of a man. That was something that was also used in antiquity. They would use isosophy and code when they were in prison or they were in captivity and they were going through hell and going through the furnace, and they would send these epistles out and they would use these things in code. That's what it says, or the number of his name. And you have to count it. Just like a lot of those ancient historians and poets and things would do, they would put things in code. So when the church got it, they say, okay, well, who's 603 score 6? What man could this be? If this is the number of a man, what man is this? And when you have the understanding, you would go through it and say, okay, well, what man could this be? Who's his beast? Who's his man? And this is really for today's time. This is today's time to really get the understanding on the 666, because it's not just talking about a trumpet being blown and destruction coming. It's deeper because, again, it is the number of a man. And that's what they would do in antiquity. Again, I love her whose number is 545. The number for honorable name is 45, right? The number of the beast, 303 score 6, right? It's the exact same thing. Let's see. Here's another example. It reads, a headstone found at the temple of Artemis at Sparta, Orthia, is a 2nd century AD example of isophonic, right? So they put this together and then you add it up in the Greek and it gave about a name, and it gave about a name, and it gave a breakdown, right? So John, the Most High put in the spirit of John for those churches that were under the Roman Empire to get that same type of understanding or that breakdown to know who could John be talking about without revealing something that could compromise the churches being overthrown, that could compromise the churches being overran by the Romans, that could compromise the churches being burned down to the ground. That's why it was written in a riddle fashion, right? It's speaking about Esau. He is the man of sin. He is the son of perdition. He is the son of destruction, right? No more, no less. That's why anything that deals with 6 deals with the death of the so-called white man primarily in America. Revelation chapter 6 and 12. And I beheld when he had opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. So when the 6th seal is open, it brings about destruction, right? It brings about missiles raining to the earth, and the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. So the 6th seal brings destruction. Then you have Revelation chapter 9 and verse 13. And the 6th angel, this brings destruction too, sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before God, saying to the 6th angel which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. So not only did the 6th seal bring missiles and destruction, the 6th angel is going to bring missiles and destruction as well. And then you have your third 6, which is the 6th vial. Revelation chapter 16 and verse 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared, which leads to what? World War III. So the sixth trumpet, the sixth vial, the sixth angel, all bring about destruction to the so-called white man. His number adds up to 6, but it's 3 times because the third time makes an emphasis or complete destruction. That's why it says, he that hath understanding, count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. Now, believe it or not, you're going to have Israelites with this number too, because they have picked up the traits and the qualities and the sins of the so-called white man. If you're into Christianity, Islam, you're a hardcore Democrat, Republican, you're a liberal, left wing, right wing, you're into the industry, you're looking to sell your soul, you're looking to compromise your integrity to make a few extra dollars in the land of the living. If these things are in your vision, then you have this number on you. Now, you can repent, and the Most High will take that number off of you. It's spiritual, right? But if you don't repent, you're going to be caught out there, man. Right? You're going to be caught out there, and you're going to have to deal with it. Right? Salakia. Like this guy. Look at this guy. A creep. And what is he at? 666. Right, bear with me. Yeah, look at where's his devil at? This demon. Look at that. 666. So if you even you buy it, now you can say, well, look, I'm sincere and I bought those shoes, right? Well, you can't be sincere and be dealing with this sodomite, man. And a lot of them cover their right eye, and we know what that's going into as well. So he's into that freakism too. That's 666. They're marked for destruction. They are marked for destruction. And on their side, they think it gives them power, but it's really showing who they have pledged their allegiance to, the spiritual demon Satan, man. Right? They have pledged their allegiance to the spiritual demon Satan. Every one of them, they have the number of the beast. And if you don't have the number of the beast, and if you don't pledge your allegiance to this society, then you're going to be destroyed by the so-called white man and become public enemy number 1. So these are the people that are going to try to be it's like it's successful. You know, try to make it. Right? Now, the 2/3, the other nations, they're all getting down with the beast. They're all getting down with the beast. And if you don't serve Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you're getting down with the beast too. You are getting down with the beast. Now, again, it's not just a so-called white man. It's a lot of Jakes, man. They have the number of the beast too. And they're able to prosper. They're able to make it. They're able to receive riches and fame and survive and live good because they have sold their soul and have denounced Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. They have denounced Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and they're going to make it, man. Right? They're going to make it when all hell, meaning when this economy go down, a lot of these celebrities still going to be living good. We got bunkers. They're going to be well taken care of. Even they're being taken care of now. But ultimately, when Yahweh shall return, if you got the number of the beast, you're going to be destroyed, man. You will be destroyed if you have this 666 on your forehead or in your right hand. And it's not literal, right? Because it says you won't be able to buy or sell without the number of his name. So if you don't have 666 in your forehead and your right hand, you're not going to make it. No, it's not talking about the lines of a barcode. There's no scriptures on that. Just it's a winging it. It's going into the 6, meaning imperfection and destruction, and 3 times means emphasis. right? And I had a picture pulled up, right? Let's see. Yeah, this isn't what it's talking about. Okay, the Most High is going to put this on your forehead and your right hand. No, this is spiritual. This is on people's spiritual forehead. This is on their spiritual right hand. Now he got it on his left hand, right? But spiritual, huh? This is how Jake looks. And we see this on Jake. When Jake walked by and say that's the white man's book, when Jake said who wrote that book, I'm not an Israelite, right? We've heard Jake say little things, man. Forget my nationality, forget my heritage. I don't want no parts of that. Then this is what we see. We see this on their forehead and we see it on their right hand. And we know this guy's marked for destruction. This guy's marked for utter annihilation and complete destruction. Now, again, in these days now, you can repent. And the Most High can seal you with the Holy Spirit of truth and give you righteousness. Because at one time, we were all conformed to the image of the beast. We were all into the world. We all did things that ought not to be spoken of. And the Most High sealed us with the Holy Spirit of promise after we have received and heard the word of God. Right? Let me get that real quick in Ephesians. That's Ephesians chapter 1. Right? This Ephesians chapter 1 and 13. In whom ye also trusted, after that ye heard the word of truth, the gospel of your salvation, in whom also, after that ye believed, ye were sealed with that Holy Spirit of promise. So once you hear the word of the Most High and you believe, the Most High takes away that mark from you. He takes this away from you. Where is it at? And he seals you with the Holy Spirit of promise. And now you receive the promises given to your forefathers that you were elected to receive from the foundation of the world. You no longer have that on your forehead. You no longer have that on your right hand, right? You no longer have that in your body, spiritually speaking. So it's a spiritual mark. It's a spiritual number. It's not, okay, I got an actual mark in my forehead, an actual mark in my hand, the actual 666 in my forehead, actual 666 on my hand, and I have to show my 666 because that shows that I have, no, man, right? If you conform yourself to the image of the beast and into this system, and you stand for iniquity and transgressions, and you denounce Yahweh Shem Shai, then you're part of this man's world and you're going to be destroyed, man. But if you forsake this world, like our forefathers forsook this world, the Maccabees, during the time of 70 AD, even in these last days, you forsake this world, then the Most High is going to have mercy on you and deliver you from the foresaid evils. But everybody else with this number, they are completely set up for destruction. And there will be no remedy, man. The Lord said we would have healed Babylon. Let me get that in Jeremiah. But she cannot be healed, man. I believe that's Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51 and 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Why can't she be healed? Why isn't there a remedy? Because again, she is set up to be destroyed. She is reserved for the day of evil. Even for the same purpose have I raised thee up. She can't be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let everyone go into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and lifteth up even unto the skies. Right? So that's the number of the beast. We covered it. Esau 6, 3 times its emphasis is complete destruction. Right? It goes back on the carnal level to the codified names that were used in Rome that they can understand. From the scriptural level, 6 means incompletion or destruction, and 3 means emphasis. So that's the number of the beast. And if you conform yourself to this world, you have this number on you, and we're just awaiting your destruction. But if you repent and forsake this world, this number isn't on you. That so-called vibration isn't on you. And you are a bride of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. See, Esau is looking to put his number on you. You know, put his name on you. When you put your name on a woman, that woman picks up your spirit. Right? That's why women, they lose their last name, they pick up their husband's last name. Because you lay down with that woman take on your spirit. She take on your understanding, your vision, your focus, maybe your lingo. She might put your hoodie on, your sweater. She may start thinking like you. She picks up your spirit. So Esau wants to put his spirit on us. That's 666, his destruction and violence and madness and sin on Yahweh's bride. You know? And commit the highest level of adultery. But we want to be under the spirit of 7. The spirit of 777 are holy, 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 and perfection to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Right? But with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh. Bashim Mashiach Malak Yahushua. Keep the Sabbath holy. No buying, no selling, no cooking, no sex on the Sabbath, no speaking your own words, doing your own pleasures. Keep this day holy. With that, Yahweh Bashim Mashiach Malak Yahushua. The Most High willing you were edified. Kwam Yasha. Shalom.